know that it's worth it and to keep going. There is so much to gain. The only thing that stands in your way is you. What's the best that can happen if you get out of your own way? Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how YouTube has changed my life with less than 500 subscribers. I'll be diving into the challenges that I started with on my YouTube and how I've been able to work through them and hopefully overcome them. I'll be talking about confidence, content managing, and also finding extra time in the day. Let's go ahead and jump in. But first, we need to go back to the very beginning. And I grew up watching a lot of YouTube. I was watching Jenna Marbles, I was watching Fred, I watched a lot of Vivo music videos, and I also was a pretty creative kid. In the time, I didn't think I was creative, but looking back, I'm like, oh no, I was a creative kid. I like to draw, I like to do crafts, I wrote a lot, and I ended up liking writing and reading so much so that I studied English in college. I was a creative writing minor as well. And then I graduated, went into the corporate world, and I really felt like I was thrown into the deep end. Felt like the corporate world really stifled my creativity, and I just didn't think I was a creative person anymore. But in 2020, I really realized it was time. I needed to bring it back into my life somehow. And I started really small. I started with rebuilding my Instagram. I had previously taken a break and deleted my former account that had high school friends and stuff on it. Really wanted to recreate an Instagram that felt more like me. And I've always loved photography. I've always taken a lot of photos. I really wanted Instagram where I could kind of showcase this and create this Instagram that felt really authentic to me. My other one didn't feel that way. Started from scratch, and this felt really good for a while, but it just wasn't scratching the itch enough. And I was watching a lot of YouTube at the time because of the pandemic. And I was just like, I want to do that. I love how it combines so many different mediums, and I want to be able to do that. I want to be a YouTuber. That's where the pipe dream kind of started. And then many years later, in September of 2023, my grandmother passed away. And it's gonna sound really cliche, but it did make me realize how short life is. And 2 weeks later, I posted my first YouTube video. At the time that I'm filming this, it's about 8 months after that initial video was posted, and I have 427 subscribers. One of my favorite quotes that really inspires me and really empowers me, I thought about it a lot when I first started my channel, and I'm still really new to this, so I still remind myself of this pretty frequently. But the quote is, "The only thing that stands in your way is you." This quote reminds me that our biggest challenges or our biggest hurdles are our own self-doubts, our own fears, and our own limitations. These are all self-imposed barriers, right? And I know that sounds so cheesy and I cringe saying that, but it's really true. Another way to kind of think about that is, what's the best that can happen if you get out of your own way? All right, and now let's get into the challenges that I faced early on in my channel and then how I was able to work through them or overcome them. When I first started making content, I felt so nervous to speak to a camera. It felt so vulnerable, and I just didn't think that I had anything new to say. Sometimes it feels like so many people have social media, they all have these platforms, but nobody's really like adding anything, nobody's really saying anything. And I was just like, oh no, like I'm contributing to that. But the fact of the matter is that there's 4 different types of content. There is educational, inspirational, entertaining, and relatable. Within each of these, they play into a much larger role. The entertaining content, that person is playing host. The education channel, they are playing resource. The inspirational channel is playing role model. The relatable channel is playing best friend. These can often overlap, but I really want my channel's landing place to be your internet relatable best friend. That is truly my goal. That is the content I enjoy watching. Sure, there might be little tidbits of other things in there, but that's really what I enjoy creating, what I enjoy engaging with. I want to be that cozy channel for you to turn to, because that's a space that I like to play in. It gives me a lot of confidence in the fact that I'm not trying to be your resource. I'm not trying to be your role model. I'm not trying to play host. I'm really just trying to be myself, and hopefully people find that relatable or engaging and interesting. Along with that thread, I really love making the mundane seem romanticized or beautiful. I think there's something so special about the mundane that we experience every day, and I think that having this YouTube channel has helped me appreciate those moments more. There was one clip I got a long time ago. The sun was hitting like one of the corners of my apartment so perfectly, and it just made me feel so lucky to live here, so lucky to have sunset or sunrise and to be able to get that natural light into my apartment. And it just kind of snowballed into this moment of gratitude, and it's just helped me appreciate the little moments in our lives that often don't take center stage but are still important and bring us joy nonetheless. I'm also very introverted. I don't have a large circle of friends. I like to run in pretty small circles, thrive on quality time with the people that I'm spending my time with, and then also with myself. I also need a lot of alone time to kind of function at my best. I think YouTube has given me a lot of confidence in my friendships, in my relationships, in my relationship with myself, and even at work. Before I get into this, I need to start with the hot take. I believe a lot of US institutions, such as school and work, things like that, they reward extroverts. And as someone who is an introvert, I kind of thought this theory with YouTube as well. And I thought that to be a content creator or to be on YouTube, to be on such a public platform where everybody's watching and nobody's watching at the same time, I had to be an extrovert. I had to be really outgoing and really loud, but that's just not me. What I learned is that that's not true at all. There's a place for everyone here on YouTube. And a funny example at work, I recently made an onboarding video for someone. It was nothing special by any means, but I did do a voiceover for it. The person I sent it to said that the voice recording was so good that they thought I was a TikToker, and they asked me if I was a TikToker. And I was like, wow, like peak compliment. Like it really validated the work that I'm doing here on YouTube and helped me show up better in this work context. A lot of the skills that I've learned from YouTube have helped me show up better at work. They've helped me show up as that quiet, confident one in the room. And I think that that's more empowering than being the loud, extroverted one. So brought me a lot of confidence in a quality that I already am, that's authentic to me. I'm not changing myself to be extroverted, empowered me to be myself. And that brings me to my next point. As someone who is editing and filming, you see a lot of yourself, and I always kind of thought that I would end up being really hard on certain parts of my body or the way that I look, and it's actually been the opposite. Seeing myself in the editing process or in the filming process has actually helped me fall in love with the parts of myself that I've always kind of hated. And I think that that's really beautiful. This hobby or this job is helping me love myself more. And as someone who's kind of always struggled with confidence, saying that out loud sounds really cheesy and silly and whatever, but it's true. And I hope that if you're someone who's thinking about doing this, then maybe that will be something that you kind of learn along the way. Next, onto content planning and managing. When I first started YouTube, I had a lot of stress around content planning, creating content ideas. I had multiple nights where I would just cry to my boyfriend and be like, I don't know how to do this. And it was so stressful. Every week felt so intense and so hard. And I knew that if I wanted to keep going with this hobby and this job, I really needed a solution that worked for me. And what I know about myself is that I'm a lifelong planner and I really thrive with routine and with process. I sought out solutions and I came across a Jenna Hong video with her Notion template. I duplicated her template and I really tweaked it for myself. I'll link her channel down below. She's amazing. You should definitely check her out. She just had this really robust way of planning content and planning for YouTube, and it just really hit home for me and it's done wonders for me. It has truly changed the game. It's important for those big ideas that you have to have a home to live in. I have this dumping ground tab on my Notion for those ideas to live in when I see something that inspires me or if I see something out in the wild that I really liked. So those ideas all kind of live in that tab. And then I have another tab in there that is for videos that I'm putting out every single week. And in that space, I have the video title, I have the date that it's going to be published, the date that I'm filming. I also have a status tag for where I am in the process with it, because sometimes I'm working on multiple videos at the same time. So some videos will say filming and then some will say editing. Sometimes it will say idea. It just depends on where I'm at in that process. I also have a note in there for how many subscribers I have before I post it. And then if you click into the line item where it has the video description, it has all my research for the video, all my scripting for the video. And it's so robust and so well thought out. And this has really helped me so much in terms of staying organized and knowing where I'm at and what's upcoming. If I have to stop editing for the day, then I'll put any quick notes in there for tomorrow so that I can remind myself to do that. And it's been so helpful to stay organized. So I'll link this down below for you in case you're wanting to check it out for yourself, or if you're wanting to get into a more organized rhythm with your YouTube. This has been so amazing for me, and I hope it helps for you. Let's talk about time and how you can build more time into your day. First, I think it's important to start with consistency and discipline, and how YouTube has really helped me build those muscles that I think I've always kind of had, but it's building them even more. I have always had a lot of discipline. In fact, in high school, I was always pretty bad at math, but this one year I had this amazing math teacher who just really believed in me. And I really wanted an A in her class, and I was so close. And I asked her, what do I need to do to get an A in your class? And she told me to study the study guide. And I said, okay, bet. I spent the next 4 nights in a row redoing her 60 question study guide. Every single one of those 4 nights, I got a 95 on the final and an A in her class. And I know that's like, okay, you're over the top, you're very type A. And you know, you might be right about that, but really wanted to have this moment where I could say like, yes, I'm good at math, and I'm no stranger to discipline and challenges. I really love being in that territory and kind of playing with that. I think it really ties well into what happens if you stand out of your own way. It's totally different when you have a full-time job. I've been able to create more time in my day by setting really firm boundaries. I believe that we are all really busy people with very limited time in the day, and every single day you are making an active choice on the content that you want to consume, people that you want to spend your time with, and the things that you are doing to fill up that free time. Having this newfound job really made me reflect on the ways that I was spending that time. Really changed my mental and physical bandwidth for the better. It helped me say no to things, and it empowered me to say no to things, because there's this whole other pillar in my life that has this newfound passion. YouTube empowered me to say no, and it empowered me to set really firm boundaries that I'm still working on. I am a recovering people pleaser, and I'm trying to unlearn that, but it's helped me say no to places I don't want to go, people I don't want to see, things I don't want to do, things outside of my work scope that I shouldn't be doing. It's also helping that people pleasing part, because I just have no way of how my content is being perceived. So the only thing I can do is just show up as authentically as I can, and hope that goes over well. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I can't do anything about it. I think that there's some freedom in that. There's a reason YouTube has remained such a powerhouse in the content creation space for so long. And I think that long form content will eventually make a comeback. But I just want this video to serve as a reminder that if you're thinking of starting a channel, or if you're new to starting a channel, or if you're just kind of curious about the process, know that it's worth it and to keep going. There's so much to gain. If you don't believe me, take a look at the first videos that your favorite content creators post, because everybody starts somewhere. But that's going to conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.